Hello everyone, this is a quick demonstration to walk through how do we establish network coexistence when we are thinking about migrating out of a traditional hub spoke environment to a virtual WAN environment. So typically customers would have an ExpressRoute circuit established for connectivity for their current hub spoke environment. So this allows to utilize the gateway and then via the express route have traffic come back to on premises. So the approach we are going to take when we are building the new virtual WAN environment, we are going to leverage same express route service as a way of bridging the existing traditional VNet environment with the virtual WAN environment. So the easiest way to achieve this is to establish a new gateway connection from your virtual WAN hub towards the existing ExpressRoute circuit. Now this configuration, due to some recent changes, would not work out of the box. So once you establish this connection, you need to make certain changes on the virtual WAN side, as well as in your legacy traditional hub spoke ExpressRoute gateway as well. So I'm going to demonstrate what are the capabilities you need to enable, and then also verify traffic flow between VM that is hosted in my legacy environment and also VM that is deployed to my virtual WAN environment. Once the coexistence is established, this would give you the ability to then cut over virtual networks as needed from the existing environment to the new environment that you build. So let's switch to my Azure environment and then have a quick look at what are the options that you need to enable. The first thing I want to do is I want to go to my resource group and then I want to walk you through the existing environment. So in my existing environment, as I mentioned before, I have set of VNets created for my traditional hub spoke setup, and also I have set of VNets connected to the new virtual WAN environment that I built. The first thing I do want to demonstrate is my hub spoke ExpressRoute gateway. So in this ExpressRoute gateway, what you would see here is that this is connected to my ExpressRoute circuit. Now in the hub spoke environment, ExpressRoute gateway, if you go to your configurations, it's really important that we enable this setting. This will be disabled by default, which says allow traffic from remote virtual networks to be enabled. If you don't have this configuration toggle enabled, then there's not going to be a route exchange between the old environment and the new environment. So we need to make sure this is enabled. Next thing we need to do is to go to the virtual WAN hub. So inside the virtual WAN hub, we will also look at a few things. The first thing we want to look at is if you go to your hub, and then you can look at the express routes that's connected. So this is again making sure you're connecting the existing express route to your virtual WAN hub. So we can see here I have this connection already established with my virtual WAN hub. So once this is established, the next thing you want to do is you want to go to Overview, New Hub, and then you want to click Edit Hub. So this opens up the configuration settings for the hub. And then what you would find here is that you also have a similar option to say allow traffic from non-virtual WAN network. So this is what is essentially going to allow you to exchange routing between the old and the new environment. So once this is done, what you would find is that you would see routes appearing on your old environment. So let me demonstrate what it looks like. If I go back to my resource group, so this VM1 and VM2, these are deployed to my traditional hub spoke environment, and VM3 is deployed to my new virtual WAN environment. If I go to effective routes, what we expect to see here is set of routes that are learned by ExpressRoute gateway and then advertised to this environment. So those routes are learned via the ExpressRoute, but they are originated from the virtual WAN environment. So these are the routes that I'm learning from my virtual WAN hub. So that is on the traditional hub spoke environment. So I can also now do the verification on the virtual WAN side as well. So if I go back to my virtual WAN hub, what I can do is I can select the hub, and then what I can do is I can go into show effective routes. So this would then also show me what are the routes that are learned by the virtual WAN hub. Also, more importantly, it's also going to show me the learned path as well, which would give us the ability to understand how these routes are learned. So you can see here the 20.10 segment and the 20.20 segment, as well as the hub range, the 1000. These are all learned by the ExpressRoute. And you can see this is using the ExpressRoute ASN as the path to have this connectivity. So traffic that needs to go to these networks will essentially happen through the ExpressRoute and then reach the existing hub spoke environment that I had built. We can also do a few more verifications as well. So what I will do is switch to my PowerShell terminal, and I want to run some other commands. So this is effectively my resource group and the ExpressRoute gateway. So one thing we can also do is we can say the hub spoke that we can say show learn routes. So this would also show us what are the routes that are being learned by the gateway. So this is always a good way to validate what is being advertised by the ExpressRoute and what is getting learned by the gateway. So again, very similar to what we've seen on the virtual WAN side. We are also able to see that this particular gateway in traditional hub spoke environment is learning all these routes, and we can also clearly see the AS path and how it is learning these routes. I can also do the circuit routes as well. So in the circuit, I can say, show me what are the routes that the circuit is learning. This is also, again, to validate what the ExpressRoute circuit itself is learning from these different connections that we have, both against the traditional hub spoke environment and the virtual WAN environment. So here, again, we are seeing all of the routes, and the AS path is the gateway ASN, which is 655.15. Now, if I switch back to my issue environment, we can also go to one of the VMs and we can do a quick ping test, which would also verify that we are able to now connect from the hub spoke setup to any of the VNets that are migrating to my virtual WAN environment. I'm able to reach. So if I select one of the VMs I have here, and then what I can do is I can connect to VM, and then I'll be able to actually test the connectivity from this VM to VM3, which is connected to my virtual WAN environment. Yep, so VM's connected. So if I go and say ping 30.4, so we can see that we have connectivity. And same way, if I also switch back to my virtual WAN environment, you can also see which VNets are connected to environment. So go to network connection. So that would list each of the networks that's connected. And if we go into each of the VNets, we can also see what are the interfaces and what are the components that's part of that particular VNet. Yeah, so you can see here there are two VNets that are connected. So I can go to any one of these VNets, and then I can see this particular VNet is hosting VM3, which is the one that we were using as part of the ping test as the destination. If I go into effective routes, it's going to be similar. We will see that the VHub ExpressRoute gateway is now advertising these routes to virtual network that is connected to the hub. Yeah, so you can see here, this is the local VNet. This is the hub address range, and these are all learned by the virtual WAN hub. So that's a quick demonstration. Again, if I switch back to my whiteboard, so this is to show how you can establish coexistence. You do want to do any kind of migration from your existing hub spoke environment towards the virtual WAN environment. Thank you.